Hi guys, I've been standing here with my binoculars, scoping out the walls of this canyon here for the last 15 or 20 minutes, trying to figure out the best way to get up there. I'm trying to get into the top left of the picture here on top of this ridge. I am back in 9 Mile Canyon in central Utah. When I was here a couple of months ago, at the end of that video, mentioned a page on a website that I had seen about a guy who came here. He had found a stone circle on Google Earth on the satellite view. And so he had come here looking for that and tried to get up the mountain to it, and he eventually succeeded, and it was a neat little stone circle on top of a really dramatic location with some other interesting things like rock piles and some other interesting stuff up there. At the end of that video where I talked about that, I said, help me find that location. And you guys came through. I think it was the same day, I got an email from a viewer in the UK who sent me the coordinates. And sure enough, they were the same as the spot that I had seen on that website. And I'll put a link to that website down below if you want to check out the page. And so our goal today is to try to figure out how to get to that spot. It's right there, I think, but this is all cliffs. Now, I've been a rock climber for 20 years. So normally when I see a cliff band like this, I think, oh, I'll be able to either climb up that or skirt around it pretty easily. But as I've stood here watching and looking through my binoculars, this is fairly unbroken, this cliff right here. Even over in this section, there are just little cliff bands that I don't know if I can climb safely. And so that led me to scour the cliffs over here, and I think maybe I've found a way to go through the cliffs over here, and then I think either up this way or up this way, and then I'll eventually get up to the ridge, maybe over here, and once I get to the top, I'll have to kind of descend down the ridge to get over this way. It's going to be complicated, but I think that if we stick with it long enough, we'll be able to make it up there. And as I'm getting my gear ready here for the hike, I wanted to show you the state of my hiking shoes. So these are the La Sportiva Wildcats. These are the shoes I always wear when I'm hiking. They have seen better days. This has got to be my 6th or 7th pair of these. They're not the most durable things in the world. You can see I've worn down the bottom so that they're fairly flat. But these are very grippy shoes. La Sportiva is a company that makes rock climbing shoes. And so the rubber here is very grippy, very sticky, like it is on regular rock climbing shoes. And I mentioned that because I just got a new pair of those shoes, my 7th or 8th or whatever it is that I'm on. One pair lasts me about a year and a half. So I just got a new pair at home. This will be the last hurrah, the last adventure with these shoes. And so we're gonna send them off in style as we try to go up the side of this canyon. Okay, I think I've got everything. I've got plenty of water. I've got camera gear. I've got the desire to get up this thing, so let's go. Let's get this party started. So do you see all of those little green trees up there? Our first goal, our first waypoint is to get up there. And I'm gonna try maybe over here or maybe going up over this way, but I need to get to that slope with all the green trees on it. And 9 Mile Canyon, of course, is famous for its huge amount of Native American rock art. That is this place's claim to fame. There are tens of thousands, and by some estimates, over 100,000 individual glyphs here. And I've come across some of them right in front of me, but these are not actually Native American petroglyphs. So this is the most prominent here. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look quite fine enough to be a Native American petroglyph. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there's a lot of variety in the canyon here, so that certainly could be something old. But what I wanted to show you was this. So these are bullet holes in the rock. And can you see I don't know how well it'll show up on camera. It's hard to see in person too, but someone has scratched what looks like a couple of heads. So there's a head right here, and then a head, let's see, yeah, right here. And I think they were aiming at those heads. And there's an arm coming off over here, and some other, I don't know, kind of generic scratches over this way. So, oh, here's another one. Another little circle right there. And so all of that stuff is from more modern times, obviously. Could be from the early 1900s, you know, could be from ranching and cowboy times in the area. But either way, that is not hundreds and certainly not thousands of years old. Well, that was harder than it looked, harder than I thought it would be, but that's okay because I think this next section, the section that will get us up to that tree-filled slope, I think that will be easier than it looked from down below. Yeah, this section right here, this is more broken up and jumbled than I thought it would be, and so I think we should be able to find a decent way through. Fingers crossed. Yeah, definitely doable. A little bit of loose stuff, a little bit of scrambling, a little bit of rock steps, but it's not too bad. I think this is the key right here. This will get me up to the top, but I just want to make sure that there isn't an easier way that I'm missing. No, I think that's it. At least this rock, or at least this section of rock is fairly solid sandstone. Some of the rock in this canyon is just, I mean, it just disintegrates if you look at it funny. Okay. There we go. Oh, and I need to climb back down because the wind muff on my microphone came off. There we go. Easy. Okay. Now what? We are almost up to the slope with the trees. So I need to climb up another little micro cliff band. I think this looks like the easiest way. I have no idea how the guy from the website went up this thing. He said it took him a couple of tries, but I don't know which side he started from. He said that it took him like almost completely around the thing. It was like a 360-degree tour, a circuit. I think this will do. Get a little rock climbing. Little rock climbing in. Little scrambling, little climbing. Never hurt anyone. Except, of course, for all the times that it did. Okay, we are on the slope. Whew. There's the Land Cruiser. That's how far I've climbed up so far, way down below. And this is what I still have yet to do. So this is the green slope. So I need to get through this next band of cliffs somehow. I don't know how. I think I'm gonna have to keep traversing to the left and go into this next drainage, this next sort of gully, and then maybe go up from there. But look at the great views. This is just an epic place, very dramatic scenery. I love it. We have another little climbing section here that we can hopefully dispatch pretty quickly and easily. Yeah, not bad at all. That wind feels nice. It's a hot day. It's probably in the 80s, the low 80s right now. But when the wind is blowing, it's perfect. From here on out, the plan is to just keep going up and right. I need to be going over in that direction. I think I've cleared all of the biggest cliff bands, but I'm not entirely sure. We might still encounter some short stuff, but from here on out, should be relatively straightforward until we get to the actual little summit pinnacle itself. That might be tricky, I don't know. If this looks to you like a slow, painful, grueling slog, you're not wrong. Ugh. But look at this. This is our first look at the fortress. That's what it's called, by the way. The fortress. This is our first look at it from a decent angle. That's what we're trying to get to. So it looks like we're above it a little bit. I'm going to kind of drop down and go get a closer look from over here somewhere. And the fortress isn't an official name or anything. That's just what the guy who found this and posted pictures of it online, that's what he called it. So that's what I'm gonna refer to it as also. Wow, look at this thing. This is a perfectly round, perfectly spherical rock sticking out of this other rock. I think these are called concretions. Is that right? Huh. Okay. We have a clear look at it now, a clear look at the fortress. I'm already getting excited. You can see some of the old stone walls right there, what's left of them. Right there also. What an incredible location. The fortress is a good name. How on earth do we get over there? I guess I'll scramble down over this way, and then hopefully the other side is more amenable to climbing than this side. Okay, I've walked all along the base of this thing, and I think I've found the easiest way up. There was a little cleft in the rock over here, a chimney that I could have wiggled up, but I think I'm gonna go up this way instead. I'm gonna kind of climb up this part. And I also found a couple of petroglyphs. I'm guessing these are seen very, very, very rarely. I think very, very few people make it up here. And as far as I know, this is the first YouTube video ever about this place. Ooh, we did it. Welcome to the top of the fortress. Wow, okay, there's a lot going on up here. I have a lot of things to tell you guys about. But first, let me go over the main attraction here. This is a stone circle, a stone ring, about 20 feet in diameter. This is what led the guy that inspired this adventure to come up here. He was browsing Google Earth, saw this, decided to come up here, and I'm glad he did because that inspired me to come up here. And this place is incredible. Just the position of this spot is insane. It is so dramatic. It is so rugged. Like look at this over here. It looks like something fake. Looks like something out of a fairy tale. And we can look at the car way down here. Yep, there it is right there. It took me about an hour and a half to get up here. It was 0.81 miles with about 600 feet of elevation gain. So the guy that runs udink.org, the guy that inspired this adventure and came up here and took pictures and shared them, I think his first name is Dennis, he speculated about the nature of this stone circle. So he said he doesn't think that this was a pit house, which would be most people's first thoughts about something like this. So a Native American pit house was a house where they would dig a hole, dig a pit in the ground, and then put branches and twigs and leaves over the top of it to form a home. And so he said that this is too big to be that. I'm gonna take him at his word. He, I think, knows more about that sort of thing than I do. I don't know anything about pit houses, but I don't know what else this could be. So let me know if you guys have an idea of what a 20-foot stone circle could indicate. Maybe these were just walls. Maybe they just camped up here. Maybe they used this for storage. Who knows, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Speaking of walls, there are some other walls over here that I wanted to show you. So this is the little stack or pile of rocks that I pointed out from down below. And it continues on. It continues all over here. This is all a crumbling wall of stacked rocks all along here. And then there's another pile right here, and another right there, and then another at the far end. So the circle is right here, and right out here you can see another little stack of rocks. So what was this place? Was it a home? Was it a fortress? I mean, I can't imagine spending any amount of time up here because it's so far above the bottom of the canyon. It's such a grueling trek, ask me how I know, to get up here and get back down again. I can't imagine like using this as a place that is anything other than visited very occasionally. But the next thing I wanted to show you maybe suggests otherwise. So this is a matate, which is a grinding stone, a Native American grinding stone. They would grind corn and beans in here. So they'd put it in and then use another stone called a mono to grind it like this, kind of like a mortar and pestle. In his blog post about coming up here, Dennis posted a picture of this and said that this is probably two separate pieces from two separate matates because they don't really go together. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But it's amazing to feel this. It's so smooth, you know, much smoother than sandstone usually is. This side anyway is smooth. This is still a little bit rough, but man, isn't that just incredible? Matates aren't especially rare. I've seen them at several other Native American sites across the Southwest, but to see one in a place as dramatic as this and to imagine someone being up here and, you know, making bread, you know, crushing up corn to make flour, that's just incredible to me. But there's more. I have a few other things to show you guys. So look at these little pieces of rock. This is called lithic scatter. This is the stuff left over when you make an arrowhead or some other cutting implement. You know, when you're hammering on the core piece of whatever rock this is, and you're making something, you're trying to make something, these are the pieces that flake off. I don't know what kind of rock this is. It's not, again, it's certainly not sandstone. It's not obsidian, which is what I normally associate, you know, arrowheads and knives with. So let me know, what kind of rock is that? I have no idea. I found some other little lithic flakes that are black or gray. Again, not obsidian, but I don't know what they are. And I found some little pieces of burned wood up here. I thought that was kind of neat. When I first got up here, I immediately started looking around to see what was here and what I could show you guys. When Dennis posted his blog post, he showed a piece of pottery, a potsherd that he found that was gray, and I thought, oh cool, let me see if I can find any pottery up here. So I've spent about an hour up here at this point, and I've looked all over here. I haven't found any pottery. I did find the other things that I just showed you. But I found something that I've never found before, something that I even talked about earlier this year that I had never found before. Let me show you. I found an arrowhead. I have never in my life found an arrowhead. Again, after decades of wandering around in the Western US, I've never found one, but look at that beauty. The point of it isn't even broken. It's pink, it's like a light pink. So I don't know what that would be. I mean, is that rose quartz? That's the only pink mineral, pink rock I know of. So maybe it's that, I don't know. Isn't that beautiful? How big do you think that is? I'll show you in a second so you can get an idea of the scale, but I have never seen an arrowhead this small before. Look at that thing. Isn't that incredible? I'll post another picture of it close up. And I'll show you also what it looked like when I found it. So I was just looking around on the ground, and then I saw a little point sticking up, and then I pulled it and I gasped when I saw it was an arrowhead. And then I put it back in the ground and I took the picture of what it looked like, and then I took it back out again. But anyway, what a little gem. Here's the other side of it. It has some sort of rock or something kind of encrusted in it, dirt. I don't know what that is, but what a find. What would they have used that for? Rabbits and squirrels, maybe? I've never seen an arrowhead this small before. I mean, I've really only seen arrowheads in museums or fake ones at gift shops. I've never seen, again, I just don't think I've ever seen one this small before. Having said that, I need to get out of here. The weather is changing. It is turning. It's getting even more and more windy. The temperature is dropping. So we need to hit the trail. Not that there is a trail. So I'm gonna pack up and get out of here. I'm going to return the arrowhead to where I found it. It is illegal to remove Native American artifacts from public lands, so it's staying here. But that is so cool. I took a bunch of pictures and I'm gonna remember this for a long, long time. Also, check out this wild little skinny spire pinnacle thing way over on the other side of the canyon. Isn't that neat? This is such an amazing place. I love 9 Mile Canyon. In the previous couple of videos, I showed you guys the land that we bought in northeastern Utah. That's only about an hour and a half from here. And so you can bet there are gonna be more 9 Mile Canyon videos in the future. Lots of cool stuff to come. Now this is a campsite. This is an awesome place to spend the night. I'm at about 9,000 feet up in the mountains, up in the Uintas, the highest mountain range in Utah. The sun has just set and it is beautiful up here. And the rooftop tent is set up and we're just about ready to hunker down for the night. I still need to put the sleeping bag and the pillows in there, but other than that, we're good to go. Also, I only realized this when I got back to the car, but my eye over here is swollen a little bit. So if you saw that and noticed that earlier in the video, I too am aware. I could feel it being a little bit tender throughout the day, but I didn't really think of anything of it. But then when I got back to the car and I looked at myself in the mirror, I saw what looks like a bite or a sting right next to my eye. So maybe a bee stung me somehow and I was unaware of it. I don't know, but it's kind of swollen and it kind of itches a little bit, so that's not great. And right in front of the campsite, by the way, is this great view looking down into the canyon that I just drove up, actually. What is that? Is that a landslide back in there? If the camera will focus on something other than the trees. There we go. Looks like a landslide. Huh. That's interesting. Anyway, beautiful spot. I'd actually intended on camping where I parked for the hike in 9 Mile Canyon. But I saw as I was coming down that there was this truck with a camper on the back in the bed, parked like pretty close to my car, and I thought, oh, maybe they're just temporarily hanging out there. But no, when I got down, I saw that they had like popped the top of their camper, like they were camping there, and it was right next to where I was going to camp, and there was nothing between us, like no trees, no rocks. I could just like clearly see that truck, and so I thought, I don't want to camp here, so let me drive close to home, let me go toward home, and I'll camp somewhere along the way. And that's how we got to this spot. I had actually planned on doing other stuff today, later today in the 9 Mile Canyon area, and then camping there and doing some more stuff in the morning and having all of that be in this one video. But I was just so happy with how the day went, so content, that I kind of wanted to just put a bow on it, you know, wrap all of that up, set it to the side, put it on the shelf, and have that be just a perfect memory, a perfect day in my mind. And so that's how we ended up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the day's adventures. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.